SCHD just went through its annual reconstitution, and most of the coverage that I'm seeing out there is literally treating it like a pure dividend story. And that's fine, but here on this channel, we're not just dividend investors, okay? We're also option sellers, and that really changes how you need to look at these changes entirely, because when SCHD swaps out 22 stocks and brings in 25 new ones, including some names with significantly higher volatility, that affects the premium you can collect on your covered calls, right? It also affects how you run the wheel strategy. It matters. So today, let's actually break this down the right way, okay? So every year on the third Friday of March, SCHD goes through what's called a reconstitution, right? The fund's algorithm reevaluates every holding and reshuffles the portfolio based on a specific set of quality criteria, right? This isn't a fund manager sitting in a room making, judgment calls, okay? This is entirely rules-based, which is part of the reason why I respect SCHD, right? The emotion is taking out of it completely. To even be considered for inclusion, a company has to have 10 consecutive years of dividend payments and a minimum market cap of $500 million. From there, the field is sorted by dividend yield, and then the final 100 holdings are selected on 4 factors: cash flow to debt ratios, return on equity, dividend yield, and dividend growth rate. Everything is weighed on a modified market cap basis, with no single stock exceeding 4%. In 2026, the fund brought in 25 new positions and removed 22, and that's a meaningful turnover. About 25% of the portfolio changed hands in literally a single reconstitution. Now, the question isn't just who's in and who's out, right? The question is this: does the new version of SCHD serve your income strategy better or worse than the old version did? And for those of us running covered calls on top of our SCHD positions, or using individual holdings as wheel strategy candidates, right? The composition of this fund actually matters a lot more than you think. So let me give you the framework I use when I look at a reconstitution like this, right? So I hold SCHD as part of my income floor, right? The complete passive layer of my portfolio that generates regular distributions without me actively having to manage it. But I also think about SCHD in the context of the broader wheel strategy, okay? So some of the individual names inside SCHD are amazing for covered calls and cash secured put candidates on their own. So when the fund reshuffles, I'm looking at 3 really important things, okay? Number 1, does the income profile hold up? Yield, dividend growth rate, consistency. If SCHD starts drifting towards lower quality names, the distribution obviously starts to get less predictable. Number 2, does the volatility profile change, right? This one matters for option sellers more than most people even realize, right? Higher beta holdings, they generate more premium, obviously, we know that, but lower beta holdings are safer but quieter, right? The reconstitution can shift this a lot as well, okay? And number 3, are any of the new additions standalone wheel candidates? I love looking at this, because if SCHD brings in a quality, optionable stock that I wasn't really running yet, that's an opportunity that I want to know about, right? So now let's look at what is actually happening here, okay? So 25 new stocks came in, only 8 of them carry weighting above 2% inside the fund. So the rest are just rounding errors in terms of, really portfolio impact. So I'm going to focus on the names that actually move the needle here at all. At the top of it, we've got United Health at the full 4% maximum weighting. Abbott Labs came in just under 4%. Procter & Gamble, one of my favorites, just under 4%. Qualcomm, 3.76%. Accenture, 3.3%, Comcast 2.8%, and Blackstone and ADP just above 2%. Now, here's what I noticed from an options perspective, okay? United Health, Abbott, Procter & Gamble, are all large liquid optionable names with established options chains. We know that. These are the kinds of positions you can run covered calls on without, fighting these wide bid-ask spreads, right? And that's a huge positive. Qualcomm and Blackstone are honestly more interesting to me. Both carry noticeably more volatility than the typical, SCHD holding does, which is reflected in the fund's beta ticking up from 0.61 to 0.68 after the reconstitution. That's an 11% increase in sensitivity to the market moves. For a pure dividend investor, that's a little bit of a concern. For an option seller, obviously higher beta typically means, richer premiums that we get. Now, Qualcomm in particular, it's been sold off. It's in the middle of like literally a business transition. And when you have a name under pressure, with elevated implied volatility like this, that can be pretty good environment for selling puts below current price. Now, not a recommended action, just an observation worth studying. QCOM, if QCOM is in on your radar. Accenture is also worth flagging. It's a high quality technology services firm that rarely shows up in dividend focused portfolios at this kind of weighting, right? The fact that the algorithm pulled it in honestly tells you something about where the value is sitting in this market right now. 22 names, they got the cut. A few of them are worth discussing in my opinion. Cisco is one that stings a little bit for me. It's an optionable liquid quality technology company that was, really providing some sector diversification. You don't often get in a dividend fund, it got replaced by names like Qualcomm and Accenture, which, offers, some tech exposure, but Cisco running covered calls is a different proposition than running them on Qualcomm, in my personal opinion at least. Now, the energy sector took the biggest hit. We knew that, down nearly 8% weighting overall. Valero, Halliburton, were among the names shown the door, right? These had run up significantly. The algorithm essentially sold high on energy, which in hindsight looks like it's sold timing given how choppy energy has really been here recently, all right? Avery Dennison was another very clean removal, well-run company, consistent dividend grower. But, the algorithm operates without sentiment, to be honest with you. If the numbers don't think it's in the top 100, literally, it's shown the door. So here's what the new portfolio looks like by sector weight. We got consumer staples moved to the top slot at 19.3%. Healthcare jumped to second at just under 19%. That's nearly a 4% increase from last year. Energy dropped to third at 16.3%. Technology climbed to fifth with about 3.5% increase in weighting. Materials fell entirely out off the fund from nearly 3% to a big zero. That energy reduction is meaningful. Energy stocks, they had a rough stretch through most of 2025. We all know that. And then the Reconstitution effectively cashed out those gains near what looks like local high, right? Healthcare and tech moving up, bring the fund closer to where, durable cash flows tend to live in this sort of market, especially the one we're in right now. Average market cap went from 150 billion to 162 billion, essentially really unchanged. Dividend yield is expected to hold around 3.6%. The 5-year dividend growth rate ticks up slightly from 8.8% to 9.3%. As I mentioned, beta increases from 0.61 to 0.68. Now, the yield staying flat while the growth rate edges higher is the right trade-off for a long-term income position. Now, if you're holding SCHD, for the compounding effect over a 10 plus years, a slightly higher dividend like the, dividend growth rate like this is honestly more valuable than short-term yield spikes, okay? So here's the big picture. SCHD is not trying to maximize your income today at all. It's trying to maximize the quality of your income over time. There's a big difference. The 10-year consecutive dividend payment requirement is a significant filter. Companies don't sustain dividends for a decade without genuine cash flows, okay? The algorithm is essentially hunting for businesses that have demonstrated that they can pay you through multiple market cycles, market crashes, right? The 2026 Reconstitution moved the fund away from energy concentration, which had been a drag, and toward healthcare and technology names with much stronger near-term earnings setups, right? United Health, Abbott, Accenture, Qualcomm, these aren't lottery ticket plays, right? They're businesses with real cash flows that are sitting at discounted valuations right now, okay? And for us option sellers, right, the slight increase in beta is actually really useful for us. SCHD running covered calls at 0.61 beta was quiet. SCHD running covered calls at 0.68 beta has a little more life in it, okay? Not a dramatic change, but pretty noticeable in the premiums over time. The other thing I'd flag when a fund like this goes through about 25 new additions, you have a window, a brief one, where some of the newly added names haven't been fully repriced by investors who track SCHD flows. That window closes quickly, but it's worth knowing which names just got added and checking the chart yourself before the institutional money really starts to fully rotate in. Here's how I personally think about this though. Reconstitution, right? I continue to buy and hold SCHD as part of my income floor. Nothing changes. The fund does what it's supposed to do. It gives me my diversified exposure to quality dividend paying stocks without requiring me to manage, 100 individual positions. I collect the distributions. I run covered calls on top when the setup makes the most sense, and I let it compound, okay? What I'm watching more closely now, United Healthcare, Qualcomm, Accenture as potential standalone wheel strategy candidates outside of my SCHD position entirely. High quality liquid options exchange, and they're entering a fund at what looks like a depressed valuations, to be honest. That combination, quality business, cheap price, liquid options, is exactly what I look for when I'm building my own wheel strategy watch list. Look, I'm not chasing anything. I'm watching. If the setup's developed the way the chart suggests, they might have a thesis ready to go for these, right? That's the discipline. That's not the reaction. Preparation is key. So that's 2026 SCHD reconstitution through option sellers lens. 25 in, 22 out. Healthcare and tech, they moving up. Energy trimmed at the top, no surprise. Beta nudging higher, dividend growth rate ticking up as well, and a handful of amazing new additions that look like they're honestly going to be worth putting on your watch list as potential wheel strategy candidates for your own self. Now, quick question for you, okay? Do you hold SCHD as part of your income strategy? I would love to know in the comments. And if you do, are you running covered calls on top of it, or are you just holding SCHD straight? Drop it below. I literally read every single comment. I'll make sure to get back to you. If this was useful, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm putting out content like this every single day, trying to be practical, educational, no hype, just real option strategies for real people building actual portfolios. And if you want to take this a little step further, I've got a 90-minute training I want to invite you to. You'll find that link as the first one in the description of today's video. It's our Ark Options Strategy workshop. And at the end, I give you some free resources as well to walk away with. You get my 2 premium calculators, as well as my full trade lock template completely for free. You'll find that link to register as the first one in the description.